It was a Tuesday, the kind of day that felt like a punch to the gut. I was lying in a hospital bed, barely able to move, the aftermath of a severe stroke leaving half my body unresponsive. My wife, the woman I'd built a life with for 15 years, walked in. Her face wasn't etched with concern, but with something cold and calculating. She looked at me, lying there, vulnerable, and said, "I can't do this anymore, Mark. I'm leaving you. I deserve better than a broken man." My own parents, who had flown in, stood beside her, nodding in agreement, their eyes filled with a familiar disdain. They always saw me as the fragile one, the one who couldn't quite measure up. Little did any of them know, this wasn't the end of my story, it was the prologue to their worst nightmare. If you've ever felt utterly abandoned by the people who should have loved you most, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Growing up, my home was a stage, and I was always cast in the supporting role. My older brother, Ben, was the star. He was the golden child, the athletic one, the charming one, the one who could do no wrong. I, Mark, was the quiet, artistic one, more interested in books and coding than sports. My parents, Robert and Eleanor, doted on Ben, celebrating every minor achievement with fanfare, while my successes were met with a dismissive nod or a hurried, "That's nice, Mark, but have you seen Ben's latest trophy?" I remember my 10th birthday. I had spent weeks building an intricate Lego castle, a masterpiece of engineering and imagination. I proudly showed it to my parents, hoping for a flicker of genuine interest. My mother, barely glancing up from her magazine, said, "Very creative, dear. But look what Ben got for his birthday, a brand new racing bike." My father just grunted in agreement, his attention fixed on Ben showing off his new wheels in the driveway. It wasn't just the unequal gifts, it was the constant feeling of being invisible, of my efforts being trivialized. Holidays were the worst. Ben's stories of his adventures dominated the dinner table, while my quiet attempts to share my passion for computers were met with glazed eyes and quick changes of topic. "Computers are just a hobby, Mark, not a career," my father would often say, echoing my mother's dismissive remarks. Despite their lack of encouragement, I found solace in my own world. I taught myself to code, spending hours poring over dusty programming books from the library. The lines of code, the logic, the problem-solving, it was a world where my efforts were rewarded with tangible results, a stark contrast to the emotional void at home. I yearned for their approval, their recognition, but it became increasingly clear it wouldn't come. That yearning slowly transformed into a quiet determination. I would prove my worth, not to them, but to myself. The inciting incident, the last straw, came during my final year of high school. I had been offered a scholarship to a prestigious university for computer science, a full ride based on my academic achievements and a groundbreaking project I developed. I was ecstatic. I rushed home, bursting to tell my parents. Their reaction? A stony silence. Then my father spoke, his voice laced with disappointment. "Mark, we've decided it's best if you attend the local community college. Ben needs some financial help for his business venture, and we need to prioritize family." My mother chimed in, "Besides, you're not really cut out for those big universities. You're better off somewhere smaller, where you can be comfortable." The scholarship, my hard work, my dreams, all dismissed, sacrificed for their golden child. The injustice burned through me, a searing pain that solidified my resolve. In that moment, something inside me snapped. I looked at their indifferent faces, their self-serving justifications, and I made a silent vow, I would never again seek their validation. I would build my own empire, and one day, they would see what they had so carelessly thrown away. Leaving home with little more than a backpack and a burning resentment, my journey was anything but easy. The community college was a stepping stone, but I knew I needed more. I worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices by night and delivering pizzas on weekends, saving every penny. During the day, I devoured every computer science course I could, not just learning, but truly understanding. My professors saw something in me that my family never did, a sharp mind, an insatiable curiosity, and an unwavering work ethic. One professor, Dr. Anya Sharma, became my first true mentor. She recognized my raw talent and pushed me, connecting me with research opportunities and industry contacts. "Mark," she'd often say, "your mind is a labyrinth of brilliance. Don't let anyone dim your light." Her words were a balm to my long-wounded spirit. Through Dr. Sharma, I landed an internship at a burgeoning tech startup. It was there I met Alex, a brilliant but equally overlooked coder, who quickly became my closest friend and, eventually, a co-founder. We shared late-night coding sessions, cheap coffee, and a mutual understanding of what it meant to be an outsider striving for something more. My personal life also began to flourish. I met Sarah, a kind and ambitious woman who saw me for who I was, not for what my family perceived me to be. She celebrated my small victories, soothed my frustrations, and believed in me even when I doubted myself. She became my rock, my chosen family. When I proposed, it wasn't just a union of two people, it was a defiant act of building a life founded on genuine love and respect, a stark contrast to the hollow relationships of my past. Meanwhile, my blood family remained oblivious, or perhaps, willfully ignorant. When I finally graduated with honors, they sent a perfunctory text message. When Alex and I started our own software company, they scoffed. Still playing with computers, Mark, my father would say on the rare occasions we spoke. My mother, ever focused on Ben, would drone on about his latest failed business venture, subtly hinting that I should invest my meager savings to help family. They saw my dedication as a childish obsession, my growing success as a fluke. They continued to expect me to be the quiet, accommodating Mark, ready to drop everything to cater to Ben's needs or their whims. Their condescension fueled my fire. Every dismissive comment, every forgotten birthday, every time they called me to ask for a favor for Ben, it solidified my resolve. I was building an empire, brick by painful brick, and they were blind to it. The plan wasn't just to succeed, it was to succeed so spectacularly that their past dismissals would come back to haunt them with brutal clarity. And then, the stroke. My world crumbled, and the true colors of my wife and family were brutally revealed. But even lying in that hospital bed, broken and betrayed, a new resolve hardened within me. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning of my true transformation. They thought I was broken, they had no idea I was about to become unbreakable. The annual family reunion was always held at my parents' sprawling estate, a show of their perceived wealth and status. This year, it felt different. I had been discharged from the hospital a few weeks prior, my recovery slow but steady, fueled by a simmering determination. My ex-wife, Sarah, had swiftly moved on, parading her new, much wealthier fiancé at family gatherings, her smug satisfaction palpable. My parents and Ben, ever united in their disdain for me, treated me with an almost theatrical pity, their eyes flickering with a cold satisfaction that I was, finally where I belonged, broken and out of their way. I arrived with Alex, who had been my unwavering support through my recovery, and a few close friends. The air was thick with the usual family chatter, punctuated by Ben's boisterous stories of his latest investment opportunities, thinly veiled attempts to solicit money from various relatives. My ex-wife, Sarah, spotted me across the lawn. Her eyes widened for a split second, a flicker of surprise, before she composed herself and approached, a saccharine smile plastered on her face. "Mark, dear," she cooed, "so good to see you up and about? You're looking better." The patronizing tone was unmistakable. My parents then joined her, my mother, Eleanor, clucking sympathetically. "Mark, you know, we've been so worried. It's just so sad, what happened. But don't worry, we'll always make sure you're taken care of, in our own way." My father, Robert, patted my shoulder with a forced, awkward gesture. "Yes, son, we'll find you something easy, perhaps a little administrative job for Ben's new venture." Their words were a veiled dagger, a reminder of my perceived dependence, a final humiliation. Ben, standing nearby, chuckled, "Yeah, Mark, maybe you can finally learn to answer a phone properly." A silence fell as everyone around us seemed to notice the tension. Then, a sleek, black limousine pulled up the driveway, a vehicle far too luxurious for a family reunion. Out stepped Mr. Henderson, the CEO of Global Innovations, one of the largest tech conglomerates in the world. He was a man rarely seen in public, known for his reclusive nature and immense influence. My family exchanged confused glances. "Who's that?" my father muttered, adjusting his tie. Mr. Henderson walked directly towards me, his gaze bypassing my stunned family. He extended a hand, a genuine smile on his face. "Mr. Evans," he said, his voice resonating with authority, "it's an honor to finally meet you in person. We've been deeply impressed with your work at Innovate Tech." My family's faces drained of color. Sarah's mouth opened and closed without a sound. My mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. Ben stammered, "Innovate Tech? What are you talking about?" I looked at my family, then back at Mr. Henderson. "Mr. Henderson," I replied, my voice steady, betraying none of the earthquake rumbling within me. "The honor is all mine. I believe we have a significant announcement to make." Mr. Henderson nodded, turning to face the bewildered crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, his voice carrying across the lawn, "I am pleased to confirm that Global Innovations has officially acquired Innovate Tech, a groundbreaking software company founded and spearheaded by none other than Mark Evans." He gestured towards me. "The acquisition, finalized this morning, is valued at $1 billion. A collective gasp swept through the gathering. My family stood frozen, their eyes wide with shock, their smug expressions replaced by utter disbelief. Sarah stumbled back a step, her new fiancé looking utterly bewildered. My mother clutched her chest, her face ghostly pale. My father looked as if he'd been struck by lightning, his jaw slack. Ben, the golden child, crumpled slightly, his usual bluster deflating entirely. Mr. Henderson continued, Mr. Evans, despite a recent health crisis, has shown unparalleled resilience and vision. His revolutionary AI platform will redefine our industry. We are not just acquiring a company, we are acquiring a genius. He then turned to my ex-wife and my parents, his tone subtly shifting. It's truly remarkable, isn't it, how some individuals achieve greatness despite lacking the very support they deserve from those closest to them? His gaze lingered on them, a silent but devastating condemnation. The realization hit them like a physical blow. The quiet, undervalued Mark, the one they had dismissed, abandoned, and tried to control, was now a billionaire, a visionary. The man they had left for dead, literally and figuratively, had not only survived but had thrived beyond their wildest imaginations. The silence was deafening, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves and the rapid beating of my triumphant heart. The revenge wasn't in their financial ruin, but in the absolute, undeniable proof of my worth, laid bare for all to see. The immediate aftermath was a chaotic spectacle of mortification and desperate scrambling. Sarah, my ex-wife, was the first to compose herself, albeit poorly. She rushed towards me, her face a mask of feigned concern, her voice syrupy sweet. Mark, darling, why didn't you tell me? I never meant. I was just so worried about you, about your health. We can make this work, can't we? We were meant to be together. Her attempts at reconciliation were transparent, laced with a blatant avarice that made my stomach churn. My parents, Robert and Eleanor, approached, their usual condescending postures replaced by an awkward stoop. My mother wrung her hands. Mark, our son. We always believed in you, deep down. This stroke, it just made us so scared. We were just trying to protect you. My father, usually so stoic, stammered, yes, son, family always comes first. We've made mistakes, but blood is thicker than water, isn't it? Ben needs you, Mark. His business is struggling. Their pleas for reconciliation, for financial aid, for me to once again bail out Ben, were nauseatingly predictable. I held up a hand, stopping them. Sarah, I said, my voice calm but firm, our marriage ended the moment you walked out of that hospital room. There's nothing to make work. We're done. I turned to my parents. And as for family, you had every opportunity to be one. You chose to neglect, to dismiss, to exploit. The family I have now is built on trust, respect, and unconditional support. You are not that family. Ben, who had been hovering nervously, finally spoke up. But Mark, I'm your brother. We're family. You can't just cut us off. I haven't cut you off, Ben, I replied, a slight smile playing on my lips. I've simply stopped allowing myself to be cut down by you. The shifted family dynamics were immediate and brutal. Many distant relatives, who had always sided with my parents and Ben, now approached me with apologetic smiles and effusive praise. Some even subtly distanced themselves from my immediate family, recognizing the new power dynamic. My parents and Ben found themselves ostracized, their carefully constructed facade of superiority shattered. Their attempts to regain face, to spin the narrative, were met with knowing glances and quiet whispers. They had been exposed, their true character laid bare for all to see. My life, on the other hand, continued to flourish. The acquisition by Global Innovations propelled me into a new stratosphere. My AI platform, now with the resources of a global giant, expanded rapidly, creating opportunities for countless individuals and genuinely changing the industry. Alex, my co-founder and friend, became a key executive within Global Innovations, and we continued to innovate and build together. Sarah, my true partner, stood by my side, our bond stronger than ever. She wasn't interested in my wealth, she was interested in my well-being, in our shared future. My circle of chosen family, Dr. Sharma, Alex, Sarah, and a few other trusted mentors and friends, grew, their unwavering support a constant reminder of what true connection felt like. The greatest resolution, however, was internal. The incessant craving for my parents' approval, the burning resentment towards Ben, the bitter taste of betrayal from my ex-wife, it all dissolved. I no longer sought external validation. My self-worth wasn't defined by their dismissals or their sudden, desperate attempts to reconcile. It was built on my own achievements, my resilience, and the genuine love and respect of those who truly cared. The weight of their expectations, their past slights, lifted, replaced by a profound sense of peace and liberation. I had turned my pain into purpose, and in doing so, I had not only changed everything for myself but had inadvertently exposed the truth about those who had wronged me. My story isn't just about a stroke, a betrayal, or even a billion-dollar acquisition. It's a testament to the fact that your worth is not, and never will be, defined by those who fail to see it. It's about recognizing that true family isn't solely determined by blood, but by the bonds of respect, support, and unconditional love. It's about transforming the deepest hurts into the most powerful catalysts for change. If you're out there feeling unseen, undervalued, or betrayed by the people who should lift you up, remember this: your resilience is your greatest asset. Your pain can be your fuel. Don't seek their approval, seek your own truth. Build your own path, surround yourself with those who truly believe in you, and never, ever underestimate your own power to change everything. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt the sting of neglect or the fire of determination, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of triumph over adversity. And most importantly, share your own story in the comments below. Let's build a community of resilience, proving that no matter how hard life hits, we can always rise stronger.